But yes, just 4 minutes into the hour. It is now 7:04 a.m. Good morning. If you're just waking up, you haven't missed out on so much. We just checked on the news updates, but now we want to take a look at what's going on the roads. These are the traffic updates, and would say we confidently have our eyes on the road for you. Are you planning on getting to work on time? Probably planning on beating traffic. I would say I'd rather you leave early, plan early, so you don't have to try and beat traffic. You'll be patient and brave. Certain roads in Nairobi and its environs seemingly will always have traffic, but today we will be having a discussion on the design of those particular roads, their structures, if maybe we have a way to redesign them, maybe to decongest the traffic. Is it that the design could have been the problem, the structures? But where are we coming from and where are we headed? Because now people in Nairobi will tell you, I know what to expect, and sometimes it's a track, but sometimes it's just what it is on the roads. If you're watching from Kisumu, Nakuru, Wajir, Kakamega, Bungoma, Uganda, Tanzania, Eldoret, and I mean all over the world, including Canada and Sudan, welcome to the show. This is Arrive Alive, and courtesy of @3 Roots, I'd love to pick some of the major tweets this morning. And I can see Kenyans have woken up quite early, but again, Kura Road has been, on the spotlight for the past week. The past 2 weeks, Kura roads, especially in Ngong Road, issues and concerns. People are asking, were they designed to take lives, okay? So we just want to see concerns of Kenyans, and of course the experts that we're having today on road safety will be helping us walk through that discussion. But at this particular time, at Vish Elvis, thank you for your tweet via @3 Roots, says at Kenha, Kenya, those pedestrian crossing bridges along Mombasa Road need redesigning. All right, and they are dangerously offloading pedestrians on the highway, both at Mlolongo and past Syokimau. Do something about it as soon as possible. I have told you that I appreciate how Kenyans seem to be responding to our topical issues every morning. Again, redesigning is coming up this morning, a matter of concern, this time not on Ngong but Mombasa Road. For the sake of pedestrians, I'll read that again at Vish Elvis, bringing up a particular concern, saying at Kenha, Kenya, those pedestrian crossing bridges along Mombasa Road need redesigning. And I'll be asking Isaac what he thinks of that tweet. And he's saying they are dangerously offloading pedestrian on the highway, both at Mlolongo and past Syokimau. He is urging Kenha to do something as soon as possible. But is this Kenha to do? Is it Kura to do? Is it NTSA to do? As Kenyans, we are just over there with all the information. But who do we hold accountable, and who should we be addressing for particular issues? Thank you. That is via @3 Roots. 54 minutes ago, thank you very much, Ndegi Oscar, for this. A trailer had overturned on Kingara Road, blocking it completely. That is at 6:12 a.m. How is it now? @3 Roots, of course, I'd love to hear from you guys. Just tweet via @3 Roots, at Lookup TV, at Doris Anki. Remember, the hashtag is the morning drift. And at 6:12 a.m., a trailer had overturned on Kingara Road, blocking it completely. You do realize what that means when a road is blocked completely. Not too many minutes ago, I'd want to hear from you, and Harrison has continued to echo that it will be a messy morning. Can heavy vehicles be banned in this road? Can we ban them? I'd love to hear from truck drivers as well, and cargo transporters. Is it possible to ban you on certain roads? Could we have a particular route designed for trucks, or is there something we can do? Because this is going to be like a very serious, messy morning. Tell me how it looks right there on Kingara Road at this particular time. Harry G, we've heard you reiterating what Harrison is saying. Can we ban heavy vehicles? When you say heavy vehicles, could you be specific? Because maybe you are being relative, here, and Kenyans might want to agree or disagree with you. I'd love to hear from you. Let's take a look. Well, it's just basically the same thing. We're having this happening over and over with the heavy vehicles, cargo transporters. Now Kenyans are saying we have this stalling causing traffic every single morning. Of course, 4 hours ago, again, heavy jam at the Weybridge tracks, arrested for excess load of materials. So there seems to be something going on with the tracks this morning. But what is going on Thika Road? What was Thika Road? You're a bit quiet today, or is it me who's not, keen on the road? Jogoo Road, Outer Ring, anything? Langata, Wayaki Way, is there anything major on your roads? Let's see. At Easy Coach Limited, I think I'm going to have to highlight this because it's just a few seconds in. The tuk-tuk is the one overtaking recklessly from the left. It's already outside the road. Let's see. There seems to be something going on with of course, the rogue industry. People are calling the matatu industry the rogue industry this morning. What exactly is the discussion? Oh, there's a photo here of overtaking. Just go to Atma 3 Routes and read what this tweet is about. Every time I encourage us to be enlightened about what is happening on the roads. So I will not go into details when it comes to this one, but I want you to go Atma 3 Routes. Thank you very much for tweeting that at N Murea. And we capture these things to share with Kenyans so they know when they're on the wrong and when they're on the right. So Kenyans are giving their reactions on that particular incident there. Yeah, pretty much, I want matatu owners and drivers to know that Kenyans still refer to you as a rogue industry. At Roads Alert KE, what do we have there this morning? Let's try and find out if they brought in anything. Just encouraging people. I see very interesting, beautiful photos there. Just Road Alert KE saying, good morning, beautiful people. Isn't there any accidents this morning? Road Alert KE, would love to hear from you. And of course, Collins Kipkemoi saying good morning right back. So far, seemingly nothing, but we'll continue to talk about the road designs this morning. I am very curious on what is going on, especially on Gong Road. And Kenyans have said, well, did you design some roads to actually take lives? The roundabouts, for example, the pedestrian, footbridges. People say we don't have a choice. We just have to run across the road because did you consider that our bus stop is here and we have to walk all the way there? So how the psychology works and how sociology works, who is consulted? Who sits on the tables when they're designing the roads? Now, I have an expert today who is passionate about road designs, and we want to shed more light. So join us on Facebook. We are Lookup TV. I'll be introducing him shortly, but remember, all your questions, all your concerns will be addressed right here this morning. When we karaoke, I will start with your question. Trust me, I'm equally curious. All right, good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, morning.
It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. I'm very much comfortable to be here and appreciate your time for invitation. Thank you very much and appreciate it.
Isaac, you are a founder and executive director of Safe Drive Africa Foundation.
Yes.
I have just given them a glimpse of your profile, but they'd love to hear more about you and maybe your opening remarks as we begin. Your camera is right there.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Isaac Mutashi, Executive Director and founder of Safe Drive Africa Foundation. It's an NGO advocating for road safety and sustainable mobility here in country. Even though we are working with other partners out there, but most and the priority that we have is our country. Here is what we have. We have been doing this since the year 2012, and they are working with different stakeholders, including government agencies, that is National Transport Safety Authority, and the police, the Kura, Kira, and so on. We are supporting them because what we need is zero fatalities at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not about me. We are not in competition.
Yes.
What you're looking at is by the year 2030 or Agenda 2030 of the UN Decade of Action for Road Safety, we have at least reduced number of fatalities on what we have currently. Okay. For example, now. Currently, we have 1.35 million people dying globally every year. In Kenya, it's between 3,000 to 13,500 plus dying every year. So what you're looking in this global agenda, since many institutions, many organizations,
yes,
government agencies did not come on board at that the past decade of action for road safety, that was 2011-2020, sorry. So now we want to bring them and support this decade of action, since now we have a global agenda that we are looking forward to have everybody on board so that we can have road accidents into half by the year 2030.
Okay.
So what we are working on is to bring everybody on board, including Look Up TV, including National Transport Safety Authority, Ministry of Transport, any police, and everybody on board that as we stakeholders, we are participating in that global agenda. We have a global plan that has been produced by the United Nations, and this is what we are following at, to save more lives on the road, because road accidents are very devastating at particular point. For example, you have lost someone, a friend, and so a family friend, a colleague, and so on. Can we have something that we can come together? Even though we have been pushing this agenda for a long time, we have achieved few. For example, for school children, we are still advocating for 30-kilometer near school zones and residential areas. We have policies in place, but these policies, they have not been implemented.
It's been a problem.
It's been a problem. So we want these policies to be in place where concerned stakeholders to take their mandate. We do not have to wait until festive season.
All right.
Let us do it at the right time. And we are here to work with any open-minded agencies so that we can push this agenda together now.
All right, Isaac, allow me to, just bring the viewer closer home, and let's just, one of the things you said you're working on achieving is sustainable mobility.
Yes.
A new term in, on our set this morning, and walk us through that. What do you mean sustainable mobility in the country? Yeah,
sustainable mobility, this meaning that we need a more environment friendly, for example.
Yes.
In Ngong Road, you mentioned about Ngong Road.
Yes.
We need road design to be designed where you have pedestrian walkways, we have cycling walkways, and we have roadways, for example. Now, this meaning that if we have more walkways and cycling lanes, then we have less fatalities on our roads. If you're in CBD, for example, in Nairobi County, walking and cycling can be more beneficial to the community. Why I'm saying this one is because, number one, we are going to reduce carbon emission. Carbon emission is air pollution.
All right.
Or we can share vehicles. We do not need to come, you and I, each person owning a vehicle into the CBD.
All right.
And then we can have a clean environment, clean air, and so on. This is one of the sustainable mobility, where your children, my children, in future, they can walk to the city without no harm, no accident, and they can save life. This is what we're looking at.
And when you talk about that, well, of course, the former governor, Mike Sonko, tried that. I think there's Greenview Park for the terminus, and we have still been asking, when is it going to pick up? Because if you are then aware, some of these projects have begun, but they take a little bit longer. And in that same, light, allow me to read a tweet here by @Mathriroots, of course, via @Mathriroots, by @Sam Walili. The reason why Ngong Road is just taking center stage, one of those, concerns Kenyans have is how long it takes to actually make these adjustments. And I can see Sam Walili, 11 hours ago, said at Kura Roads, at Captain Ochenge, for how many years? Expressway almost done. Ngong Road from the junction to Karen, no single street lighting. He says accidents have to happen. Do accidents have to happen so that your team can rush to make adjustments? Well, this is just one of the questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would say that accidents do not have to happen because accidents are preventable. And you can prevent this by community awareness, sensitization, and event outreach. Now, Ngong Road has been constructed. This Ngong Road was done by JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency.
All right.
And I've seen a lot of initiative there, even though there's no enforcement in that road or on that road.
All right.
So if you are doing a road construction or a road design, it's always very important for you to include stakeholders or community participation, how they feel about that road. Maybe there was no inclusivity about community involvement and so on, even though accident happening.
Yes.
We don't wait until that happens. I've seen Zebra County, they're doing some of initiative there, but still there's more accident happening, even though there is cycling lane and there's pedestrian lane, but more motorists are parking on those lanes. Why are they doing so? Where are the police?
Yes.
Where are the agencies or concerned agencies doing their job?
Okay.
Because why are we doing this infrastructure and road design where we're involving vulnerable road users, yet there's no correct enforcement in our community? We need more enforcement. Let people not park on pedestrian lanes, vulnerable road users lanes, and so on.
But even as you're saying this,
Yes.
I've had a lot of experts come on board. We've talked about hawking as well.
Yes.
And we, of course, with Mr. David Kahara at the time, were trying to figure out what solutions we'd have, especially for the CBD and other areas where we have people not having an option, but to actually hawk on the pedestrian walk pathways and even on the footbridges now.
Yes.
And now that you are working closely with these agencies, people are asking, now this is where we are at, but what is the solution? I talked to these business people myself, and they said, tutakula nini?
There's no problem. What we can say is there's lack of sensitization
All right.
with this hawking industry. What you can say is that if they have enough awareness about road usage, overpass usage, roadway usage, and so on, they can still have somewhere they can do the activity, daily activities and so on, and yet pedestrian vulnerable users, they can still use the overpasses and pedestrian roadways and so on. So we need concerned agencies, whatever you are constructing or you are building these overpass bridges, let us have community awareness about that area, so that they can be aware that if I'm doing this, I'm doing wrong, and there's penalty on this. Let us put huge penalty on the people selling on footway, pedestrian footways or overpasses and so on. We have strong penalties so that they know if I do this, it will be this. But the corruption is killing us.
So what do we do about
corruption is killing us, is fueling us and so on. So what we need to do is concerned agencies to do their job. If corruption ends, then we have a free country where everybody can walk, can cycle, can take your children to the city without no harm, no problems, no, maybe, for example, thieves hijacking on you and so on, because overpasses, sometimes they attract a lot of thieves and so on.
All right.
And conmen and so on.
And the people are saying that there's poor lighting there as well.
Yes, and even you find sometimes of border, they're still passing over.
Absolutely,
yes. So how are we going to restrict them from doing this? Do we have some people, the marshals, if it's Kera, for example, they have constructed that road or that overpasses, they should also think about security of vulnerable road users. How is it going to save vulnerable or local mwananchi? Because these overpasses, they're not built for the upper classes. They're built for low-income earners.
Okay.
You get a point?
Okay.
So these low-income earners, they're the people who are suffering, because the high-income earners, they're using their vehicles, they can rotate, they have fuel, they have everything. But who is protecting them? If we are building for us overpasses, how are we going to protect these overpasses for us?
All right.
And this is what we're fighting for our people, our community.
All right. Now, you have done quite some research, and you'd want to highlight for us certain roads that you feel need to be redesigned. You know, they have existed over the years, yes. A lot of construction is still going on.
Yes.
As a Kenyan, I'm curious because sometimes Kenyans have said we wake up to new bumps, we wake up to new adjustments, and they're not gazetted, we're not aware. So if I'm not familiar with the road, I am most probably at risk and I might have an accident. So we just want to understand what roads come to your mind. Any specific roads that you probably feel, or have observed may need to be redesigned?
Actually, we have many roads here. We have roads that have been categorized in different level, roads and so on. So I would say that if there is a road that need to be redesigned or need to be reconstructed, or they need first to consult the community and the stakeholders at the end of the day, because stakeholders like people on the ground, we are people who are talking to the community. We know what is their need. There is no consultation at the end of the day. For example, Wangige, there is a highway that is there. Already, that road's almost complete, but already there is some kiosk and so on within the highway. So, who is concerned in that area? Why are they building? Do we have county government there? Do we have agency that is taking care of the society? What are the dangers? Because all these people are looking for the daily bread and daily and so on. And what you're looking at, you find that most of these people, they are single parents, and most of them, they are suffering from traffic accident and so on. What I mean is, their sibling have died, or maybe your husband or my wife have died, and that's why I have to go and look for, because my the daily breadwinner died through road accident. So I don't know about that. There was no that counseling about that.
All right.
What is concerned agency, for example, in they say doing for road traffic victims to sensitize them so that they will not do this, or the society around that area. So there's more concern that we need to look into that factor where roads are constructed, but this is a problem.
All right, I think I'm going to give that question back to the viewer. Then they should share with us the roads that they feel needs to be constructed, because I feel you have not really given us, in detail certain roads. But of course, I can see that Ngong Road has been on the spot, and I can see that James Kenyan is saying Muiki Kasarani Road needs to be reconstructed as soon as possible. It's full of hazards all through. Of course, it's like it was designed by middle school kids. Very interesting remarks there. But most of this, of course, our feedback seems to be the same. Edgar Handsome wa Nyahururu saying, Nyahururu tuned. Good morning, Edgar. Mzadi Jichopevu saying, watching. Thank you very much for watching. And would love to hear, of course, Sheila Nabwala saying, good morning, Anki. Good morning. Now, remember, we are discussing the redesigning of roads in Kenya, or if they really do need redesigning. But Kenyans are now saying they're probably designed to take more lives than to help achieve road safety. What are your concerns, sentiments, where you are at? What roads do you want Atma Theories to pick up this morning, at Road Alerts KE to pick up this morning? Kura Roads, I hope you're watching, because you are still trending on Twitter for not responding to Kenyans' concerns on redesigning or reconstruction of roads. We'll be right back after the short break. You're watching hashtag The Morning Drift, Arrive Alive. Welcome back. We're glad you are watching. This is all about designs and structures of our roads, and of course to achieve road safety. People have now accused the authorities, Kura Roads, for example, Kenha, and now NTSA also coming out to be on the spot on, are the roads designed to take lives or to achieve road safety? That's the question that Kenyans seem to be asking. They seem really agitated on the social media platforms. No wonder we decided to have the Safe Drive Africa, representation here this morning, just to understand what sustainable mobility is and if Kenya is moving towards the right direction in achieving that. And thank you very much, Isaac, for choosing to stay with us and for your patience.
Thank you.
And I want us to now talk about a few specific roads because really, like Kenyan has said, Mwiki needs some, bit of a touch there. There's a problem, of course, in Mwiki. Ngong Road, I will come to that shortly because that's one of the reasons why I decided to have this conversation today. I'd love to hear from all the other experts watching from wherever you are. It doesn't have to be Isaac only, We also need to hear your perspectives from wherever you are, people who are, involved in constructions and who are consulted. We need to know how that process goes. And now Waiyaki Way is under construction, and people have lost family members, breadwinners, like you said, sir, to these roads. Waiyaki Way, at some point I read on Twitter, someone saying, do not even choose it. It's not an option to drive through in the night during these constructions. He actually called it, I don't know, a death sentence or something of the sort. So what would you want to say about Waiyaki Way as you're speaking? Because it seems like they're redesigning it or reconstructing it for a reason.
Yeah, of course they are redesigning it for a reason or for life-saving, because we have to achieve Agenda 2030 and UN Decade of Action for Road Safety. So we cannot make any remarkable point because that road has not been completed, even though we have lost a lot of friends. I myself, my schoolmates, that stretch from Morocco, Sodom, Gitoka, a lot of friends, we are schooling together. They all died from there, and that's why Safe Drive came up. So if they are redesigning it, and we hope that it will gonna have pedestrian walkway, because we have a lot of traffic of vulnerable road users from Kangemi, Waruku, Kibagare, and Odhiru, and so on. So there's a lot of stretch of people walking, because that is a low income earners area or work zone. So we hope that after completion, it will have where we have pedestrian walkway and cycling walkways and so on. Then we have vehicles, roadway, and so on. If it will be that, since we need not participate in that stakeholders meeting, that would be good. It will save more lives. Okay. But we need to have overpasses around Gitoka area. Okay. Gitoka, I'm not sure if you know about Gitoka. Gitoka is between Kangemi and Waroko, between Kianda College and or Kianda School and Kangemi. So we need to have a pass, because we have a lot of traffic flow from that area, and many lives have been lost around that area. All right. As I speak now, MP of that area, he is aware, Mr. Wanyonyi, and so on. So many people are coming from Kibagare village, crossing over to Kangemi on the other side. So many lives have been lost because there's a lot of sensitization and so on. So we hope this road, it will accommodate vulnerable road users, not only for vehicles. Okay. Yes. And one of the things that someone would ask is then what do we make sure it has, you've said the footbridges. Sometimes people have talked about irrelevant bumps, and I don't know what you'd say about that, because is it overspeeding? Yeah, there's overspeeding around that zone, and is a black spot, that area. So what we would say that we need to have clear road markings at that particular time, and speed calming bumps, that's rumble straps. Before you arrive there, you already know there's a community that lives here. So it will alert you in good time or prior for you arriving to that area. So we've seen a lot of calming speed measures from Kikuyu and so on, but that area, that stretch, need to be looked at when they're constructing that road. This, according to my observation. After losing about 15 friends or 10 from same school, I would not want it to be the same again in that zone. All right. Yes. Now another road that has already, been talked about, is always talked about, it matters lighting. And now someone highlighted and even gave us a breakdown according to his observation. I'm not sure he's an engineer, but he's on Twitter. And I want us to, I know if you are on Atma 3 Routes, you have come across this tweet.
And when I came across it, I said, this does need a discussion. All right, I should have called him on set as well. Eric Kigada, good morning, sir. And thank you very much for coming out strongly on Twitter at Mathuri to just talk about the situation that, you know, a lot of people might have shied away from talking about. And Eric Kigada, you know, I'll read the tweet, and of course I'm mirroring that, and I'm hoping my camera crew can also have that to you keenly. And he says, can one, let me just get that, can one design a road to lead to people's death? This is what I have been asking myself, especially since my friend lost his daughter on hashtag Ngong Road Sunday morning. Now, Sunday morning is not, you know, too far off. It was just, of course, the 21st of February, 2022, around 2:29, that's when he put up this tweet. And he said that Kura roads, this is avoidable death. This avoidable death is on you. The accident happened in darkness at the bridge over the railway. I don't know if you're familiar with the bridge over the railway.
Yeah, I think somewhere on Ngong Road,
Yes.
I passed there maybe twice. We have a program that we do on data collection that is called IRAP Star Rating. It is international app that we assess roads. If road does not meet at least minimum 3-star, this road has to be redone. Because there's no facility for cycling, there's no facility for pedestrian, and there's no good prioritization of vehicles. This meaning road markings, deviations, on, deviations and so on. So that program, we can assess that road and we can be able to tell if this road does not meet 3-star minimum, it has to be redone. And that's what we do. We have done this as a pilot project under 5 schools, which is our future generation. In Moi Avenue, Mbagathi, and Kenyan primary schools, we did Moi Avenue.
Yes.
And these results were presented to NTSA. We have not seen any result at the moment, but they're still working on it. There's no problem. Where we are going to incorporate NMS and the county government so that what they're doing, for example, on the pedestrian walkways, what is on Kenyatta Avenue, should also implicate in the Moi Avenue area near the school zones, not only to think of the upper class, but also to think of the vulnerable roads and schooling children and so on. We also have a program, you said railway and the vehicles.
Yes.
We have a program that is called International Level Crossing Awareness. That is about railway. So we raise awareness about railway crossing and the vehicles. So we train drivers or we sensitize them depending with the community around that area. Because, for example, you remember the Umoina and the train, Kenya Railway, they had an accident sometimes back. So what we are doing, we are trying to raise awareness about the collision about railway and vehicles. And these programs is it's run over the year, and the event is carried out in June. So it's gonna be the second week of June. So we are going to do all that, and if that road has a problem, then we can take it as a pilot project on that, because it's a railway crossing and so on, because many drivers, they're not aware about railways, about railway crossing and so on. So if you find that we are now having SGR, railway crossing and so on, we need more now into sensitization before we reach to death sentence or death
lives lost. And I want to, you've just said if it has a problem, let's just walk this journey with Eric and with you right here on set and with the viewer, for those who haven't gone really to check it out on Atma 3 Roads. And according to his tweets, this road does have a problem. And as we talk to you at the end of this discussion, let me know if Ngong Road is a 3-star or it really needs to be redone, because you said you check. All right. According to Eric Kiganda, and of course he's highlighted this particular road, I personally don't see markings, okay? But of course at a first glance he says the road looks fine. And I think that's the first thing you said. You said it's been done by Japan.
Yeah, JICA, yeah.
Yeah. And he says, at a first glance, no problem, it's a beautiful, beautiful road.
Yes.
But anyone who has used this road will tell you that at this location, this location, all right?
Yes.
I'm hoping you can go at my 3 routes and just follow closely at Lookup TV as well.
Yeah.
While headed towards Junction, you cannot drive straight. You keep left. The rule of the road, you have to swerve to avoid a bridge, a parapet that is carved into a bow. I don't know if you've gone through that. I'm just giving you an update according to his thread.
Yes.
And then you can also let us know how many roads look this way and how many roads in Kenya are rated below 3-star. He says the lanes are not marked. On the side, of course, this side is marked white right there. And I can honestly see there are no markings on that particular lane. And there is no signage or lighting. Okay, of course, we know when there's street lights.
Yes.
And I cannot see street lights there, according to Eric Kiganda. I'm hoping this is actually a picture that of Ngong Road, okay?
Yes.
Drive at night and an oncoming traffic always makes it look like you are far right, so you tend to keep left. All right. Should you not swerve, then the chances are that you will end up in the gap shown between the red arrows. There's a gap right there. Okay. I don't know if you're following as well, because
I know, but it's not.
Yeah. So he's literally, a Kenyan who is not working with any agency has decided to take us through how bad that road is, and he's saying at a first glance, all Kenyans feel that we have great roads. We have a smooth road. In fact, they speed through it. And one last thing here. He says, we have been at this place again after someone else died after hitting the badly designed U-turns. Okay? At Kura Roads, this road design does need your attention and should not claim lives. If it cannot work without road markings, signages, or lighting, put them up. Now he's gone further to just, draw it.
Yeah.
And I think Eric should come on set very soon.
Yeah, I think so.
With the Kura Roads
it would be
as
good,
well.
yeah.
But I cannot read the entire thread.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just showing you the seriousness.
The seriousness of that
of,
road.
the life lost or the lives we're losing on roads due to poor designs. And one thing I would reiterate is saying, at a glance, all looks good.
Yes.
So what star is this? U-turn problems, signages, lightings, a gap right there.
Yeah, I think that's Eric, right?
Yes, that's Eric.
Yeah, Eric, that's a good question. I would like to meet Eric and visit that place as an organization so that we can tackle that point, because this Agenda 2030, we do not want any more life on the road. So what we are looking at, yes, that road might be maybe 3-star or minimum. If there's no road marking, that's dangerous, because there's no deviation of that road and there's no signage, nothing, no road marking. It can be a dangerous road. So we need to revisit that road, and then we can make this recommendation to entire agencies. If it's Kura, if it's Kera, if it's county government, they can do it, because we're working closely with them and they're very good people. If you give a recommendation, they consider doing that. So I would like to meet Eric to have his views about that area, and this can be so because our agenda is to make sure no more lives are lost on these roadways in Kenya.
All right, and of course, if you can see it, he's actually drawn.
Yes.
And like you said, you have lost friends.
Yes.
I have lost friends,
yes.
family. He has lost.
Yes.
So this is not a matter of, we just want the authorities to react.
No.
This is a matter of saving the next life. So if a Kenyan sits down and literally draws how it should be, I think it's high time that, agencies like you realize that somebody is really not working.
Yes.
Yes. And of course, he's shown us these gaps here. I don't know if you can see that.
I can see that. I can't. It's not reflecting.
Yeah, it's not mirrored, but of course, if you are keen, I can even share that with you right here on the tab.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, there's a ditch here.
Yeah, so there are, you know, holes and loopholes on roads that seem okay at a glance, but are very dangerous to Kenyans. I'd love to hear your last remarks on how many roads in Kenya, as we're speaking. We have Thika Road, we have Jogoo Road, major roads are minimum or, you know, less than 3-star. Yeah, because that is something that Kenyans need to do.
This one, we would say it's a minimum, is not even up to 3-star rating. A reason being there's no pedestrian crossways, there's no cycling lane, there's no deviation lanes, there's no road markings. So this road need to be looked at and be redesigned.
How long? Because that's the question that Kenyans are asking. We continue to record lives.
Yes.
We have experts like Mr. Worotet doing drives, and of course tomorrow they'll be here to tell us about the Taita Taveta Road.
Yes.
But we are working on this. Wayaki Way has been under construction, but for how long?
For Wayaki Way, I know it's going to be completed in a few months' time. Okay. Because this is going to be a succession of President Uhuru, because his legacies depends on the expressway and that way. Because before we had a lot of accidents on Wayaki Way, and now it has been demolished in the flyover, so they are redesigning it. Okay. So I think that one, through representative of Honorable MP Tim Wanyonyi, that is going to be incorporated because all those issues have been raised. He's going to incorporate that under his legacy, so that we don't have no more lives lost on that Wayaki Way. But now, on Ngong Road, this is something that need to be looked at. We need to consult the MP of that area and MCA.
Kura? They've really called out
on Kura because
several.
all of them, they are stakeholders. So that we do not have no more life lost at that particular area.
All right, allow me to appreciate this tweet by Wamui Kariuki saying good morning and saying, let me add other roads that are quite dangerous due to this poor management, planning and enforcement. She's saying Kawangware, Naivasha Road, it's a market. Kawangware 46 is a sewer pit. I agree. All right, market potholes, and that is Kawangware, and I love that you're here, so that we have you, you know, follow up on this. Easily, First Avenue Market. All right. One thing common in all is shoulder pedestrian paths taken over by businesses, which you mentioned earlier. No bus stops, absolutely.
No bus stops.
No matatus take out, you know, the matatus take the whole lane because where else are they going to stop, all right? Yeah. And when you're driving behind them, they almost never indicate. So this is now being, you know, a problem, not just the road, but also the behavior of the drivers.
Their behavior.
But what choice do they have, all right? It's like promoting that behavior.
Yes.
And she's saying human traffic is heavy on these roads. I have a few videos on these roads, and of course she shared, you need to check Nduthi Mama, or Mama Nduthi on YouTube to just get, you know, more of these roads. And of course, Blessed Dan is saying, watching live from Manzoni, Masaku, let's all arrive alive. Very, very important. Just to, as we are closing, Wamuyu adds that we have heard too much of revisiting this road. We just need action taken now. And that's the same thing that I would love to bring to your attention, even with the organizations watching. Kenyans are probably losing their patience. If they would get to draw the design for you and post it on social media, like Wamuyu is saying, action. Yes. Is what they're calling out for. So maybe in your last remarks, you'd want to tell us and reassure us that, you know, at least some action will be seen.
I would say that thank you very much, Wamuyu, and the rest of the participants. We are here for you. And a reason why we're here advocating for road safety is not about us, it's not about you, it's about for next generation. So I would say that those remarks are very positive, and as our mandate, we are going to look into that. We are going to write to concerned agencies as we work as an NGO for road safety, and we are national. And actually, we are going to see results after maybe this session, as we start trying to reach individual or institutions that are concerned, to see that all those remarks that have been made, they have been achieved and so on.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And of course, I know you have a soft spot for children. very soon we'll be coming in to see your projects with the schools.
Yes.
And now they're closing for quite some time.
Yes.
Perhaps somewhere through March we can, have that conversation so we understand where the schools are structured, early schools, who helps them cross. The school buses now, of course, insecurity also rising on the roads. But for today, on the redesigning and designing of the roads, how they're structured, thank you very much for your sentiments.
Thank you very much.
How do we get to reach you? People want to follow up now on the Safe Drive, Africa Foundation, your social media handles.
Yeah. Thank you very much for giving us this platform. And I would say that our social media platform, or any way you can reach us, is on Twitter at Safe Drive Africa, on Facebook at Safe Drive Africa, on Instagram at safedrive.africa, on LinkedIn at Safe Drive Africa, on Flickr, Safe Drive Africa, or you can email us on info@safedriveafricafoundation.org. You can reach us on call on 020-2516-418, and we are happy to serve you.
Thank you.
Yes, or my Twitter handle myself is Isaac Mutashi. Yes.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That is Isaac Mutashi, the founder, Safe Drive Africa Foundation, and of course working very closely with another guest that will be coming in to grace the show on the Healthy Inside Out. I can assure you it's getting better. But now for all of us who have cases that are still, piled up in the judiciary, 10 years down the line, 8 years down the line, 4 years down the line, but you're still not seeing the results, perhaps it's a matter of time, and maybe people say justice delayed is justice denied. I do not fully agree, but would love to understand where these mediators come from or advocates come from when it comes to how soon can we reduce the backlog, what can we do, what is the alternative dispute resolution that we may want to consider fully as a country. Just in a short while coming in with a big conversation. But as you head out, please ensure that you arrive alive.